Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting into the mind of a genius. But not the kind you see in every other movie. Nope, we're talking about a truly unique and honestly way more compelling one. We're going to explore why so many fictional geniuses just fall flat and how a sentient flagpole, yeah, you heard me, can teach us a masterclass in how to write intelligence the right way.
So let's start with a feeling I bet you've had. You're watching a show, right? And the so-called genius character pulls off this ridiculously complex plan. But instead of being impressed, you're just sitting there thinking, come on, really? It just feels like a cheat. So why is that? Why do so many of these supposedly brilliant characters feel like total frauds?
Well, the problem usually boils down to this difference between what we can call magical intelligence and grounded intelligence. Magical intelligence is when a character's brain is basically a superpower. They make these impossible guesses, their plans work flawlessly. It's just not believable. Grounded intelligence, on the other hand, is all about the messy, realistic process of actually solving problems, adapting to new info, and having a clear thought process. It's the huge difference between being told someone is smart and actually seeing it for yourself. A perfect example of this magical intelligence is BBC's Sherlock. You know the drill. He glances at a scratch on a phone and suddenly knows the owner's entire life story. But is he really deducing anything, or is he just guessing? Come on, he's just picking one of a million possibilities, and the script just makes him right every single time. That's not logic. That's a superpower the writers handed him.
And then you've got the retroactive genius. Think Sister Sage from The Boys. After a bunch of completely chaotic, random stuff happens, she just steps forward and claims, "It was all part of my plan." The show tells us she's a genius, but we never actually see her do anything intelligent. Her genius is just a label they slap on a series of events she had absolutely no control over.
So, is there a better way to do this? Of course there is. What if a character's genius wasn't a superpower or some lazy writer's trick, but something more real? What if it was the direct results of a deeply held, totally radical philosophy? Well, this is where we meet our case study. Meet Scandaloso. And yeah, you are looking at a sentient flagpole. It's this bizarre anomaly that was literally born from the human emotions of embarrassment and shame. Its entire existence is tied up in the very things we all try to hide. And that wild origin story, that's the key to understanding its totally unique brand of genius. And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of Scandaloso's obsession. It's talking about masks, but it doesn't mean fabric. It means the metaphorical masks we all wear to hide our true selves, what it calls our inner devil. And this isn't just a quirky character trait. It's the core of its entire philosophy. It's the engine driving everything it does. So you see, Scandaloso's intelligence isn't just random smarts. It's built on a really clear two-part philosophy that we can actually break down and understand. Its genius is a direct product of its worldview. The first pillar of its philosophy is this idea of radical authenticity. Basically, it's the belief that to be truly free, you have to tear down all the social masks you wear to fit in. For Scandaloso, hiding your true self isn't just a weakness, it's a form of corruption, and it sees its mission as forcing everyone to be their most brutally authentic selves. The second part is what we can call ritualized transparency. Now, what this means is that when Scandaloso exposes a secret, it's never just a random act. It's a carefully planned, symbolic performance. The act of revealing the truth becomes a ritual, designed to make a huge, powerful statement. So you can see in this table how these two big ideas come together. They create this unique ideology we can actually name: exposurist vigilantism. Scandaloso isn't just a superhero fighting bad guys. It's on a moral crusade to expose hypocrisy and punish people by revealing their deepest, darkest secrets. Okay, so that's the philosophy. But now let's get to the fun part and see how this all translates into action. This is where we really see the massive difference between Scandaloso and those flawed archetypes we talked about earlier. Unlike Sherlock, who just magically knows things, Scandaloso doesn't guess at all. Instead, it runs experiments. It deliberately provokes people, poking and prodding them until their masks crack and their true selves come spilling out. It doesn't predict what people will do. It makes them do it. And unlike the retroactive genius, we get to see a clear, step-by-step plan unfold. Check out this takedown of a terrorist group.
Scandaloso doesn't just get lucky, it isolates them, neutralizes them, and then, here's the really brilliant part. When they try to set a trap with bombs, it turns that very trap back on them. You see? It's not about predicting the future, it's about adapting in the moment and using your enemy's own weapons against them. Now that is true genius. And this, right here, is what truly sets Scandaloso apart. This is the big idea. Its powers aren't just for flashy fights, they are a direct, literal extension of its philosophy. Okay, to really get this, we need a super quick detour into something called semiotics, which is just the study of signs and symbols. A sign is basically anything that stands for something else. The word tree is a sign. A stop sign is a sign. A map is a sign. They all communicate meaning. Simple enough, right?
Now here is the absolute key difference. Most fictional geniuses are great at reading the signs. They can look at a clue and figure out what it all means. But Scandaloso is on another level. With its power, it can actually write the signs. It can manipulate maps, create new symbols, and literally rewrite reality itself to fit its philosophy.
So Scandaloso's genius isn't just about seeing the world for what it is. It's about remaking the world to force the truth out into the open. In that terrorist takedown, it didn't just win the fight. It rewrote reality so that the terrorists were destroyed by their own bombs. The punishment wasn't just a consequence. It was a perfectly ironic, symbolic act that reflected its entire worldview.
So what's the big takeaway here? A truly great genius character isn't defined by what they know, but by how they think. Their brilliance comes from a clear philosophy, a logical process, and actions that show us their intelligence instead of just telling us about it. And that leaves us with one final, kind of chilling question. Scandaloso's mission is to expose the inner devil in all of us. What would it find if it came for you?